Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight on this Saturday night, it's game 2 of a 3-game series. The Astros meet the Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies, the Astros minor league MVPs, being honored before this game, and now the Astros and Reds play game 2. JD?
Well, we'll get another look at Felipe Paulino tonight, one of the Astros' bright young prospects, and just score this man a run, would you please? In his last 6 starts while he's been in the game, the Astros have failed to score a run. Felipe 2-10, 6.06 ERA. Justin Lair started against the Astros 10 days ago, got a no decision, allowed 5 home runs in that game, but managed to get off the hook as the Reds won the ball game late.
Coming up, the Reds have really had a hold on the Astros this season. Felipe Paulino tries to turn things around in this season series as he takes on the Reds, who scored 10 last night, in just a moment. Gotcha on that one. Gotcha that one. Sunny evening outside in Houston, and inside with the air conditioning pumping. Last night, by the way, the roof was open. Tonight it is not. It's a little bit warmer and humid. For game 2 of this Cincinnati-Houston series, the Reds are a hot team. They've won 5 in a row and 9 of 11. Dusty Baker starts the game with Drew Stubbs, the center fielder. Paul Yanish of Rice University bats second. At shortstop, it's Joey Votto with a big night last night. Batting third at first base, Brandon Phillips is the cleanup man at second.
They put 8 runs on the board that he started, but other than that, pretty miserable. Actually, on a historic pace now in his last 6 starts, he's worked 29 in the 3rd innings. While he's been in the game, the Astros have not scored a single run. It's just absolutely crazy. Defensively, Leadborn and Pence cover the outfield tonight. From Tejada, Matsui, and Berkman have the infield covered. Humberto Quintero, he's in charge of putting down the right numbers.
And the game opens with Paulino looking in. Drew Stubbs takes a practice swing. Now Felipe up on the rubber with a 2-10 record, a 6.06 ERA. Stubbs, a .268 hitter with 8 homers, has driven in 16. And there's ball one from Paulino. He is 1-2 lifetime against the Reds with a 3.97 earned run average. Stubbs 2 for 6 in last night's game. He scored 2 runs and drove in another. Hits this one in the air, and Lance Berkman drifts over toward foul ground for out number 1.
Paulino making his 16th start this year, his 4th against the Reds, so he's seen plenty of this ball club. He's pitched good against them, no wins, 2 losses, but a .255 ERA against Cincinnati. And that his first start came against them way back in April and pitched a dandy 6 shutout innings, one of his better performances.
Now Paul Janisch looks at that one, and it's ball one. Janisch, a .222 hitter with 1 homer, has driven in 15. Last night he had 2 hits, an RBI, and drew a walk. Paulino puts that one on the outside edge for a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Felipe. In the air, and Miguel Tejada heads out for shallow left center field with Carlos Lee behind him. Tejada takes care of out number 2.
Couple lazy pop-ups, that indicates good life on the 4-seam fastball for Paulino. The hitter's a little bit behind it, not able to center it up. So 96, 97 miles an hour. So he's coming out of that bullpen ready to turn it loose.
Joey Votto certainly turned loose the bat last night. With the UTEP Texas football game now completed, Houston area viewers may now turn to Fox Sports Houston for the conclusion of our Astros Reds telecast. Fox Sports Plus will revert to originally scheduled programming. Votto takes, and it's strike 1 to Joey, who drove in 4 last night. Behind here, 0-2 in the count. He's in the 7th spot in on base average in the National League, 8th in slugging. And Votto with an excellent year. With a .315 average, has 23 homers, 80 runs batted in, with some downtime on the disabled list. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Votto hit a 2-out first inning homer last night off Brian Moeller. Then he cleared the bases with a 3-run double in the second. And Votto hits this one to left center field. That's a gapper, headed for the Reds bullpen wall. Votto heads for second base with his 34th double of the year.
He's got that good off-field stroke. It's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he just serves it into left center field. That's a pretty swing. Classic left-handed hitter. Not the drop the backside and lift the ball out of the ballpark power hitter you see from a lot of lefties, but that good off-field stroke, kind of like Berkman.
That's an 8-game hitting streak for him. He has 16 hits in his last 30 at-bats. Brandon Phillips will try to drive him home. He's driven in 95, 20 homers and a .279 average. Paulino gets strike 1 call. Wow, was right.
So far, and we're only 9 pitches into this game, it looks to me like Delphine Colon, the home plate umpire, is going to give you a little bit up, but squeeze you a little bit down around the knees.
Phillips 1 for 5 in last night's game. Chases that breaking pitch. It's 0-2 to Brandon. Another strong year. He's on a 5-game hitting streak right now.
A good sharp breaking by Paulino. We've seen Felipe enough now that when he's on his game, he can be rock solid. I mean, just a matter of consistency for Paulino.
Slap to Berkman for out number 3. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded.
base enough. And then when he's gotten on, the games have been, either out of hand or it just doesn't make sense to run. But finally, a chance for him to maybe swipe another one here.
You'd like to have him get that 60 out of the way before he goes on that final road trip. He could do that tonight. Tejada batting .304. There's the runner going. Oh, what a jump. Corky Miller couldn't have thrown him out with a Gatling gun.
Not even sure why he tried, to be honest. I mean, there was a point there where he was 4 steps toward second base. It seemed before Lear had even released the baseball. There was no chance for Corky Miller to make a play there. That's 59 from Michael Bourne.
Tejada with a 1-0 count. 12-game hitting streak, hitting .351 in that streak. He's also hit safely in 18 of his last 19 games. He's doing well against the Reds this year. One of the few Astros who has a decent batting average against them. That's a ball. He's batting .345 against Reds pitching this year, 19 for 55, 3 runs batted in. And with his .304 average that has him tied with Carlos for the club lead, 12 homers, 79 RBIs. There's a shot through the hole, but Bourne had to pause and he'll be stopped by Pedrique at third. Ball hit sharply, but Bourne hesitated and you had to put the stop sign up there.
And a hole on the left side of the infield, which meant the play was in front of Michael. And of course, when you're running at second base, you only leave if the ball's hit behind you. But that ball hit in front of him, so he had to hold up. If that ball's hit to the hole on the right side of the infield, he probably makes an attempt at scoring anyway.
This is Berkman, chance to get on the board here against Justin Lear. Berkman homered last night, now has 24 homers, second on the club, tied with Pence for second. And the pitch to him a little tight on the hands, ball one. Berkman with 76 runs batted in, 29 doubles, 1 triple. Astros playing their 154th game of the year. And until expansion, this would have been our last game. There's a foul back. But of course, then there were only 8 teams in each league, right. 16 total.
No wild cards, no divisions.
Berkman has 4 homers against the Reds this year, 8 runs batted in. Now Whirling Dervish in a woo. He was going to throw to first and then decided better of it because Tejada was jumping right back to the bag. That was really an animated Whirling Dervish right there by Lear. Now he'll check the corners again. Down and away. A changeup that faded away. And now it's 2-1. Berkman a .270 hitter tonight. His figures are down. There's a foul coming up this way into the mezzanine. And not only are his figures down, but it also relates to how they're down against the Reds, a franchise that he has really done well against in his career. 48
career home runs against the Reds. That's by far the most of any team he's faced. And as far as Cincinnati goes, nobody else in the game has damaged them as much.
And that's down and in. You've got a full count now to Lance. Let's see how we play it here with Tejada at first. Across the diamond, you find Bourne at third. He started with a single, swipe second. Tejada followed with a sharp single through the left side. Berkman still with an opportunity here. There's nobody out. Throw over, not close. Tejada just kind of fell back onto the bag. Runner at first going. There's a bouncer to first, going to bring it home. They're going to get Bourne in a run down, and the catcher catches up with him. Tejada was on the move, and the first baseman, Votto, turned it on Bourne, and they got him in a rundown. So now you have runners at first and second. One out.
Pretty good effort there by Corky Miller. It goes as a 3-2 put out, but Miller did a lot of that work himself, running all the way up that third baseline to get Michael.
If there'd have been a little extra room before third base, Bourne might have outrun him, but they'd run out of real estate. And here's Carlos. Pitch to Lee, strike called inside corner between the knees and the belt. Carlos batting .304, 26 homers leads the team. So does his RBI column with 98. At 32 doubles, second most on the club. Tejada second, Berkman first. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch coming down and in. The curveball that didn't bite enough to go back over the plane, and it's 1-1. Sign given, Lear ready. Here's the pitch. Swinging bouncer, shortstop, flip one, fire two, and the Astros, who lead the world, have done it again. 6-4-3. They're 152nd of the year. They're second in this series, and the Astros, who had it all second inning, and during the second inning, as always, you're going to catch up on the scores.
If you want to add, you can go to the regular Facebook part and add the name. But we'd like to hear from you tonight. Again, it's Facebook. It's Facebook/Fox Sports Houston. That's where you find it. We'd like to hear from you.
Thanks, Greg. Jay Bruce with a 1-1 count. And Paulino worked a nice changeup in there on that second pitch. Now it's 2 balls, 1 strike to Bruce. Jay, a .217 hitter with 19 homers, has driven in 49. It's 2-2 to Jay, who last night had a double and a homer. Came off the disabled list, and he's played well since then. He bounces this one up the middle. Tejada with the play behind second, throws out Bruce. Bruce was out couple of months with a fractured right wrist, but he's come back to go 8 for 24 since he came off the DL. It's always nice for a young player to get that success in at the end of a season after being out long term with the injury. Juan Francisco's the third baseman again tonight. Scott Rowland was in the original starting lineup last night but had to be scratched, so Francisco stepped up in a big way. 462 with a homer for Francisco, and there's strike one. Juan had 3 hits last night in 5 at-bats, drove in a run and scored 1.
Paulino's throwing very hard, and that's pretty much the norm. Every single time we see him, he's 95 to 97 miles an hour. But sometimes he gets a little careless with that fastball. He's been plagued by the home run issue, too. He's allowed 19 this year.
Berkman off his mitt and on through into right field. The ball had some serious spin on it. Lance tried to move his glove up and stop it, and it's off that mitt and on through. Hit number 2 for the Reds. We'll see. It's not up there yet. It is a hit. Francisco aboard, and it's Lance Nix now.
Yeah, the ball had a lot of topspin. Wow. Like a Super Bowl. Still make those?
I haven't seen one in a while. Ball 1 to Nix, former Texas Ranger, Milwaukee Brewer, 238, 13 homers, 39 runs batted in. He's been out with an injury this season. Had a bulging cervical disc for about 2 weeks in September. Big move to first. He really threw it hard.
Paulino, Bud Norris, both have outstanding pickoff moves, quick feet. Not afraid to put a little hair on it when they throw it over there. And talking to Billy Hatcher when we were in Cincinnati on that last trip, he said, I've been able to keep my outfielders healthy all year.
That gets away from Nix, goes off the screen, and he fouls it for a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And Nix has played 111 games, but I think, well, Taveras played right at 100. And they just have not gotten a lot of games out of their outfielders. They've had 21 different DL stints this year, 19 players spending time on the shelf.
Nix, another one.
And was still flying. A ball and a strike to Corky Miller. We've only seen him bat against us twice this year. He's 0 for 2. Swinging, base hit, right center. So after a quick out short to first to take care of Bruce, Francisco, Nix, and Miller have all delivered hits here.
In that, by the way, in that Yankees game today, CC Sabathia pitched the great ball game. In fact, the Red Sox held it just 2 hits in the game, and Sabathia won his 19th. You know, there's been all this talk about Zach Greinke winning the Cy Young in the American League, and he may well indeed win it. I don't know, but well, if Sabathia wins 20, I'm wondering almost how he wouldn't get the Cy Young.
Let's playing on a winner.
Now Lear puts a bunt down Berkman's way. Berkman throws to second, gets the force out there. No return throw from Tejada. Miller is out number 2 from 3-6.
And that's the one drawback of having a slow guy in the 8-hole. And that's not a horrible bunt. Good heads-up play by Berkman. Corky's just a very slow runner.
Drew Stubbs opened the game with a foul out to Berkman. Paulino's on a 6-game losing streak, the longest for an Astro pitcher since Jose Lima set the club record with 13 straight losses in 2000. Stubbs looking at ball 1. But Paulino in his last 4 starts is 0-4 with a 3.52 ERA. 1 ball and 1 strike. The last pitcher to go 6 starts in a row with as many as 29 1/3 innings pitched and not have a run scored for him while he was in the game before Paulino was Mike Paul of the Indians, 1969.
And hey, look at that, we got a hummingbird right here outside the booth.
Oh yeah,
some kind of little bird. Boy, that just totally distracted me. Oh, Mike Paul, yeah, 1969 Cleveland Indians. He was 5-10 that year with a good ERA. Of course, that was a low-run era, so it's more understandable then than now.
Right.
There were a lot of one-run games, 1-0, 2-1 ball games back in 1969. This is a hitter's era. In the last 4 starts for Paulino, the Astros have lost 2-zip, 2-1, 2-1, and 6-0.
That's ball 4. Stubbs takes the walk. Runners at first and second for Paul Janisch now. 31 walks for Paulino in 88 2/3 innings. Dewey Robinson keeping tabs on things. Paul Janisch popped a short in the first inning. Paulino's 85 strikeouts, the most by an Astros rookie since 03 when Brad Lidge struck out 97. Bouncer, diving play to his left, and what an effort by Jeff Blum. Now that ends the inning with 2-run scoring, but it could have been much bigger as Stubbs made a bid for hit number 4, and it's 2-0 Reds. It's 2-0 Cincinnati. Coming up later in our Dodge Grab Live feature, Lance Berkman tells us what's in his pockets. Stay tuned. 2-run homer by Lance Nix, giving the Reds the lead. And they have really done a number on the Astros this year. Now the Astros trying to come from behind against Justin Lear, with Blum, Pence, and Matsui due up in the home second inning. Last night the Reds had 17 hits, and they beat up on the Astros 10-4. The Astros now have been outscored by 106 runs by their opponents coming into this game. And the Reds lead them by a game and a half. Cincinnati in 4th place, Houston in 5th. Jeff Blum, who made that sparkling play to win the top of the inning, leads it off in the bottom half at 253 with 10 homers. He's driven in 48. And good numbers against the Reds for Jeff with a 306 average. There's ball one. Last night it was Jeff Keppinger starting at third base, going 1 for 4. And he had 2 homers off Justin Lear in the game in Cincinnati. 1 ball, 1 strike. As JD mentioned, Lear surrendered 5 long balls in that game September 16th, but he got a no decision.
That's crafty. Pitcher out 5 home runs and not suck up an L. That's pretty clever. The Jeff Blum watch is on.
Oh,
yeah, he's at 10 home runs. This is Jeff's 4th season in an Astro uniform. His first 2, he hit exactly 10 home runs and drove in exactly 52. So he's at 10 and 48 now, so he can't go deep again. I've already told him that if he hits it out of the park, he has to miss first base and be out on an appeal. He's on board with that, and he needs to drive in 4 more runs.
There's a strikeout for Lear, his first of the night. Might be King Lear if he keeps throwing pitches like that. Now Hunter Pence. 283 for Hunter, 24 homers, 69 runs batted in.
He has a daughter. He should name her Shenda.
Shenda Lear. Hunter was 0 for 4 last night. Rosenbag has distracted him, and it will be moved. The Astros have had 9 straight winning seasons here at Minute Maid Park. They're 43 and 36 at home. And there's ball one. Looking to get this homestand turned around tonight with the finale at home this season coming tomorrow. That's driven to center field. Bruce Stubbs watching helplessly as it flies way up. That's a long home run for Hunter Pence, number 25.
That's what I'm talking about. Wow, did he crush that one. Oh, Hunter finishing strong. 295 batting average this month. That's his 5th long ball. I guarantee he didn't feel that.
Oh,
that just jumped off his bat.
Crushed that ball, and that's number 25 to tie his total of last year. Now there's strike one to Kazuo Matsui, who has 8 homers for a new single season high as a big leaguer. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Matsui hit number 8 last night. He went 2 for 4 in that game to get to those numbers. It's 1 and 2, and here's that home run swing.
Well, he had a big series against the Reds in Cincinnati. Hit that home run last night. He too has been in for a little power in recent weeks.
Quintero on deck. Good to see Jose Cruz back on the coaching lines at first base. He was ill yesterday. There's the September of Matsui, 312 with 3 homers. Sheo had to miss the game last night with that illness, and Mark Bombard filled in at first. It's really been ravaging its way through the Astros clubhouse, but many players reporting that they're feeling a little bit better today. Bouncer back to Lear. And the toss to Votto takes care of out number 2.
Kazuo will be honored at a banquet back in Japan this offseason. Remember the Mekukai, the Golden Players Club? 2,000 hits. It's a golf tournament, a banquet. He'll be honored there. The 5th player to play in the major leagues to be so honored.
Butero at 241 takes ball one high, has 3 homers, 13 runs batted in. Paulino's on deck as Q tries to reach. He's hit 273 in his last 19 starts since the 1st of August. Lear gets a call, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Chris Coast hadn't started much behind the dish the last few weeks. He got the call last night, got a double and a sac fly in the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I get the feeling Jason Castro's going to be given a pretty good chance to make this club next spring.
He's playing in international baseball right now over in Europe. Hit by the pitch. Quintero will reach a painful way down in the left elbow area or forearm area. Head athletic trainer Nate Lucero comes out.
He gets the King of Pain award this year. He's been banged up, dinged up. I mean, as a catcher, you're going to take your fair share anyway, but he's. I think back to that play where Mike Cameron steamrolled him at home plate.
Oh, the left hand.
Seeing if he has any grip strength.
Oh, nice to see the
wrist.
Yeah, right around that wrist area. Astros minor league MVPs were honored before the game tonight. Tommy Manzella of Round Rock, of course, in uniform for the Astros. Drew Lock of Corpus Christi, Colby Clemens of Lancaster, Brian Pellegrini of Lexington, Barry Butera of Tri-City, Jose Altuve of Greenville, Hector Rodriguez of the Dominican Summer League. All on the field.
Big thrill for those guys. Trophy presentation before the game. Each player announced his statistics. Handshake there from some of the front office personnel. Ricky Bennett, Ed Wade, the great Jay Edmiston on hand there.
That's Barry Butera. Colby Clemens. Manzella in uniform, and between Clemens and Manzella. Drew Lock, who had such a good year at Corpus Christi. Big night for all of them. Strike 1 to Paulino. Paulino has 1 hit and 22 at bats.
Go ahead, big man.
1-1. Roger and Debbie Clemens on the field, and the families of all those other players, of course, invited to be here. Many of them were able to come. And Doug Deutsch is retiring as an Astros area scout. He was honored on the field as well. He has 11 grandchildren, and they came. Doug spent 27 years as a major league scout, 24 of those with the Astros. He was an area scout for 20 years. He signed numerous big leaguers: Morgan Ensberg, Mike Gallo, Kirk Sarlos, Jason Lane, David Matranga, Mike Burns, and Andy Mota among them. Great career for Doug Deutsch. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Paulino. Jabs it foul, and watch out Michael Bourne in the on-deck circle. That one went right over his head. Chicago Cubs stayed alive this afternoon. They beat San Francisco 6-2 in San Francisco. St. Louis Cardinals playing tonight in Colorado have their magic number remaining at 1. Lear gets a strikeout, but Pence got the Astros their first run of the night with home run number 25, giving them 70 runs batted in. It's 2-1 Reds.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. Reds lead the Astros 2-1 as we move to the third. And, of course, there's always great giveaways here at the ballpark. But today, Milo Hamilton would call this a blue star giveaway because somebody's going to drive home in a brand new car. John White is the regional marketing manager for Chevrolet.
As people came into the ballpark, we gave them entry forms. They submitted the entry forms. And we're going to pull 6 of those out tonight. 6 people are going to be given a key, and one of those 6 keys is going to start a brand new Chevy Traverse. If it starts, they win it.
Wow. Traverse is you got a great new little line of vehicles. Traverse is one of those. Talk a little bit about that vehicle.
The Traverse is class leading in its cargo capability, its horsepower, and fuel economy. It's got enough room for 8 people plus their stuff. So you can take your whole team plus their equipment to a game. And football, baseball, either way, it's going to fit in there.
V6?
It's a V6, 288 horsepower, and it gets 24 miles per gallon. It's the best in its class and carries 8 people.
Well, mileage, of course, is a huge thing now, and that's just one of many fuel-efficient vehicles that Somebody's going to.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being here.
Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 2-1 ball game. Joey Votto leading it off here in the third inning. Has a 1-1 count. He doubled to left center his first time up. That pitch right where it was wanted by Humberto Quintero. You saw the indication before Paulino delivered.
Votto cheating on a fastball there, and they came with a changeup and a dandy, had him way out in front. Votto, like a lot of good hitters, every now and then will cheat early in the count, hoping to run into a fastball. And then he'll typically go into his more scientific approach, willing to shoot the ball the other way. He's a good, smart hitter. You know, we talked about his ability to hit it the other way, and last night Brian Moeller threw him a pretty good fastball up and in, and he turned on it, made it hard to right center for a double. Just one of those guys. He doesn't appear to have any glaring weaknesses as a hitter.
The Reds are facing Paulino for the 4th time this season. He's 0-2 with a 2.55 ERA against them in his first 3. Now it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Michael Bourne shading to left center field.
See if they come back with that changeup. Now they're going to go fastball away here.
Votto takes the walk. That's number 2.
You know, you have to know who you're up against. You know, there's a lot of hitters probably offered that pitch and get themselves out. But Votto, a very disciplined hitter, not going to get him to chase many bad balls deep in the count like that.
Brandon Phillips grounded out to Lance Berkman in the first inning. Well, Paulino still not quite with the number of innings he pitched in 07. He missed all of last year with a pinched nerve in his arm. Ground ball through into left field. Phillips takes his hitting streak to 6 games, and it's first and second, nobody out for the Reds.
The Astros heading into 2010, their pitching could actually look a fair bit better than it did heading into this season. A lot of people have questioned the signing of Russ Ortiz and Hampton with the injury problems, but what those guys did is they bought you time for Bud Norris to pitch down at AAA this year, and Paulino, even though it's been an up and down year both in terms of geography and performance, you bought him some time too where he wasn't counted on heavily at the big league level. So even though, you know, you end up releasing Russ and Mike got hurt, and a lot of people question those moves, they bought time for the younger arms. Your pitching could actually be better next year because of it.
Ball 1 to Jay Bruce. He rolled out to shortstop in the second inning. Tom Gorzolani got their win for the Cubs today at San Francisco with Aramis Ramirez hitting his 15th homer. And Barry Zito was the loser. He's 10-13.
Well, the Braves continue to apply pressure in that wild card race. They beat the Nationals 11-5 today. Rookie Tommy Hanson got another win. So the heat on Colorado as they face the Redbirds and Adam Wainwright a little bit later on tonight. If the Rockies lose, the Braves will pull within 2 of Colorado.
2 balls, 1 strike to Jay Bruce. Hanson now 11-4 with that victory for Atlanta, beating Garrett Mock.
Bruce, a left-hander, good power hitter, a little bit of an uppercut swing. Probably vulnerable up and in a little bit with that four-seam fastball. If he catches up to it, he can hit it a long, long way.
Braves have won 5 in a row now as they stay alive in that wild card. They're only 3 games back of Colorado. They've gone 50 and 30 since June 27th. Close.
Come on, Delphine.
Bases loaded, nobody out for Juan Francisco.
And Bruce showing pretty good eye there. And well, that's the difference maker for Jay Bruce. He gets a little bit better handle on the strike zone with his tools. Look out, National League pitchers. Walk, single, walk. And now you got a dangerous hitter up here. This Francisco kid, we don't know much about him, but he's got legitimate pop, good minor league power numbers. And now you're in a position with the bases loaded where you feel like you have to throw him strikes. You know, an empty base or nobody on. He's a guy you can get to chase pitches out of the zone. You know, maybe that was the message from Dewey. Was, hey, don't be too aggressive with this guy, even though you got the bases loaded. Don't feel like you have to lay it in there.
22-year-old Francisco signed as a free agent in 04 with the Reds. He's from the Dominican. Bases loaded, nobody out. He singled off Berkman's glove on through into right field and scored on the home run by Nix. Francisco looks at ball 1. He was promoted from AA to AAA, where he really lit it up in Louisville, and then got the chance to move on up to the big club.
Good pitch.
He's thrown some nice changeups and kept the ball down tonight.
Francisco way out in front of that one. 86 miles an hour. Pretty hard for changeup, but it's 10, 11 miles off his fastball, so the differential is there. And because of the good changeup, he catches him a little bit behind the heater.
1-2 to Francisco.
And this is the key. You know, Brian Moeller got the jump on the Reds hitters last night, all night long. A little bit of time he was in there and just wasn't able to finish him off. Let's see if Felipe can get it done.
Into right field, scoring Votto. Phillips is being waved home by Mark Berry. Hunter Pence's throw cut off by Lance Berkman. A 2-run single by Francisco makes it 4-1 Reds. And Francisco's had a big series already. He's gone 5 for 7 in this series.
He had the jump on him. And again, it looked like they were trying to go backdoor with a slider maybe, and left it on the inner half. Boy, it's all about making pitches in a crisis situation. Unless you just have a dominant game, you're going to have 1 or 2 critical situations as a pitcher in every game. And if you can negotiate your way through them, you're going to win. Mistakes will likely cost you.
Lance Nix ripped the home run in the second inning. Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee with Jay Bruce tagging at third will come in for the catch. Throw toward the plate. Bruce coming home. Throw not in time. It's 5-1 on the sac fly by Nix, giving him a 3 RBI game.
If Billy Hatcher, had a lasso, I think he would have thrown it around Francisco and dragged it back to first base to tag up. And he's drifty. He's going halfway here. And the ball is clearly going to be caught. You've got to tag up and give yourself a chance to advance to second on this throw home. To throw over the third baseman's head. Had he tagged, he'd have been able to get himself into scoring position.
Instead, it's a double play possibility with Corky Miller batting. He singled to right. And he takes ball 1 with Lear on deck. The finale of the season at home for the Astros comes tomorrow at 1:05. It's Wandy Rodriguez versus Johnny Cueto. Down slowly to second. Matsui with the tag out and then on to first. Francisco commits a couple of base running blunders. And in the middle of the third inning, it's 5-1. Get around in downtown Houston. Going from MD Anderson to downtown, that'll take you there. Bottom of the third inning, it's 5-1. The Reds lead the Astros. The Astros have the top of the order due up against Justin Lear, shooting for win number 5 of the season.
Hey, here's something you haven't heard me say in a while.
Okay.
A lot of ball game left.
Well, there is.
I think I lead the league. And hey, we got a lot of game left. All is not lost.
Does it just seem to us that the Astros have fallen behind in the early innings so many times this year?
Lately,
yeah,
quite often. Well, the Astros with the worst record in baseball since the All-Star break, and obviously scuffling lately, and a lot of big deficits.
27-38 is the worst in baseball, huh? That's interesting. 2 balls, no strikes.
I read that somewhere.
Okay.
I did not check for independent verification. It seemed like the Pirates would be worse.
Yeah. Bourne taps to second. Brandon Phillips over to first. 1 out for Justin Lear.
Hey, this day in Astros history is brought to you by the good folks at MD Anderson, the MD Anderson Cancer Center. On this date, 1981, Nolan Ryan, that fellow there, a big right-hander from Alvin, becomes the only player in baseball history to pitch 5 no-hitters. Of course, he added 2 more. Beat the Dodgers 5-0. There's Dusty Baker. Who's making the play? Art Howe to Denny Wallen?
Yeah, Art Howe, yeah. And Terry Poole made that earlier catch.
Punched out 11, walked 3. I was playing summer ball somewhere in Virginia, I think. I remember watching some of that game.
You were just a kid, JD.
I was just a young pup.
Yeah. Far too long ago for you to recall that.
Playing for the Madison Blue Jays of the Shenandoah Valley League.
Miguel Tejada has a 1-1 count. On this date in 1978, Joe Niekro outdueled his brother Phil 2-0.
Bye-bye.
Miguel Tejada lights it up to left field and gives the folks in the Landry's Crawford boxes a look. Kicks back onto the field as Tejada hits number 13. And it's 5-2 as the Astros play long ball for the second time tonight.
Mickey loves hitting here. 10 of his 13 home runs have come here at Minute Maid Park. So Lair now has allowed 7 runs to the Astros in 2 starts, all on solo home runs. We've got to be getting close to some kind of a record. Going.
Lance Berkman hits the next pitch foul. A strike one to Lance. Tejada already has a club record, as you know, in a season for hits by a shortstop and doubles by a shortstop as well. Dennis Menke set the RBI record for a shortstop with 92 in 1970. Menke just picked up his 80th.
Home runs, Dickie Thon.
Yeah.
20 in 1983.
Average 304, both Menke and Tejada before tonight, 304. Menke in 1970.
Menke and Thon were doing it back in the Dome.
Yeah.
And that was a different animal. Dickie Thon in 1983. That's probably the best year by an Astros shortstop. 20 bombs, 79 driven in, playing in that ballpark.
He was an all-star that year, right?
He was.
And, yeah, good shortstop, too. It was terrible. He was beamed by a Mike Torres fastball and was never the same after that. 3 balls and a strike to Berkman.
I came to the club after Dickie had been hit by that pitch and saw him play. Boy, that zone is tight down. That's not a bad pitch. And I see, Dickie platooned with Craig Reynolds in '86 on our Western Division Championship club, and he was a very good player. But talking to the guys, talking to Craig and Scotty and Dorn and all those guys who had seen Dickie before he got hit, they said this guy was just a remarkable player, was developing into one of the best players in the National League.
Berkman just received his 92nd walk. He had 99 walks last year. 3 times he's been over 100. And El Caballo bounced into the double play in the first inning when the Astros had gotten off to such a promising start with first and second, nobody out. They've now grounded into 146 of those. This one a flare to right field. Jay Bruce on the way in. 2 outs. And Jeff Blum will be next. Toronto got a run in the 10th at home and beat Seattle 5-4. Our extraordinary play will show you Land Rover and what it will view as our best play of the game. And here it is as Jeff Blum dives to his left. Paul Janisch.
Reds had already scored 2, had a couple of men aboard. Big play there, turned in by Blummer. He's been rock solid down there at third base this year.
Very good year for him defensively. He's one of the most accurate arms of any third baseman. And he's made 3 errors this year. A number of good diving plays like that one. 2 balls, no strikes. Or make it 1-1 rather to Jeff Blum with Hunter Pence on deck. Adam Lind hit the game-winning homer in the 10th for the Blue Jays with their win over Seattle.
Ichiro got ejected for the first time in his career.
1-2. Any idea what he did? Oh, here it is. He argued a call third strike. He never was ejected from a game in Japan either.
Now that's a good question. You didn't pose it, but you prompted it.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer. But in Japan, what is the dynamic? Because the whole bowing to the umpire. Do they have managers running on the field and going nuts? Is there a Japanese version of Lou Piniella? Are they throwing bases?
I'm not sure about that, but Bobby Valentine managed over there for several years. So you have to think.
Well, Bobby plays by the rules. Though. If the rules are you can't do it.
Yeah.
It might be. I don't know. Bobby V's coming back, though. I think this is the end of it for him in Japan.
Yeah, he's finished with that experience, looking for a job in Major League Baseball again. Strikeout to end it, but Tejada with 1 out ripped a home run, number 13, to make it 5-2 Reds. Okay. All right, Jack in the Box standings. We'll show you some notable Major League players who also played at Rice. Berkman, Cruz, Charlton, Mark Quinn, Bubba Crosby, Dave Hilton, and Tim Burdack. 23 Rice Owls in the majors.
Jeff Neiman, the former Rice Owl, having a very nice rookie year for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Sure is. Paulino delivers, and it's strike one to the pitcher Lear, leading it off here in the fourth inning.
The guy that gives up the solo home run always gets to lead off the next inning. Amazing how often that happens.
Yeah, it is. No balls, 2 strikes. CC Sabathia is a 19-game winner. The Yankees shut out Boston on 2 hits, 3-0. It's 1-2 for Paulino in this 5-2 game. Paulino's allowed 6 hits. And he knows he needs to slam the door here. There is a strikeout for him. That's number 1. Now it's a look at Aflac trivia. Let's see what we can be stumped with tonight. How many players from Rice have been drafted in the last 3 drafts?
311.
311 players from Rice have been drafted in the last 3 drafts.
14.
Okay.
7. 9.
Just keep throwing numbers
6.
out there. We might get it. Ball 1 to Drew Stubbs. He's walked and fouled out. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Wayne Graham probably doesn't even know the answer to that question.
Well, he's turned out so many. It's difficult for him to keep tabs on all those, probably. Two balls and a strike to Drew Stubbs. Sabathia, the first 19-game winner in the majors. The Yankees won their 99th today. 3 balls and a strike. They are now 7.5 in front of Boston. And he beat Daisuke Matsuzaka. Yankees' magic number drops to 1 to clinch its first division title since '06. 3-2 to Stubbs. Boston's magic number for a playoff berth is at 3. Stubbs strikes out looking. 2 in a row for Paulino.
Chance for a little bit of a bounce back here for Felipe. It's Lear now doing a better job of getting on top of that slider, getting a little more depth. Feathers it right over the outside corner.
Paul Giannis is 0 for 2. There's strike 1.
Speaking of Rice.
Yeah. There's another one. And Paul's done some hitting here, especially against the Astros. He's 9 for 23 against them this season. And that was the knock on him, that he was a very good glove man who would have to prove he could hit. No balls and 2 strikes. Jackknifes out of there, and it's 1-2 on Giannis. Two balls, 2 strikes. Giannis taps that one foul over Mark Berry's way. Reds will be finishing the season at home. They play the Cardinals and the Pirates, while the Astros go to Philadelphia for 4 and New York for 3. Cool foul. The Astros starter for Monday night against the Phillies is to be announced. Could be Yorman Bizzardo. It's Wilton Lopez Tuesday against Jay Happ. Cole Hamels will pitch for the Phillies Monday. And Brian Moeller and Cliff Lee, Felipe Paulino and Pedro Martinez. Still 2-2.
Good. We get to see Pedro.
Yeah.
We missed him when they were in town.
That's true. Phillies are leading 4-0 at Milwaukee tonight in the bottom of the third. Paul Bacco hit a rare homer, his third. Big breaking pitch, strikes out Giannis, and Paulino strikes out the side in the fourth inning. It's 5-2 Reds. Players from Rice who have been drafted in the last 3 drafts, and how many by the Astros? We give up 31 players. The Astros have 0. Yeah, I'm trying to remember one. Couldn't come up with any. So there you have it.
Well, the last Astro drafted, or the last Rice player drafted by the Astros was Greg Buchanan, the second baseman drafted in the 9th round of 2006.
Okay. Came up with that quickly.
Well, this internet's an amazing tool.
Yes, it is. You only know how to use it. Strike one to Hunter Pence. Hunter ripped a home run in the second inning. Number 25. That's a good number. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Hunter has tied his 25 home runs of last year. Let's see how many runs he had driven in. 83 last year. He's at 60. He's at 70 right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on a big off-speed pitch from Justin Lear. Indians lead the Orioles 1-0. They're in the bottom of the 4th with Jeremy Sowers pitching for the Indians. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sin Chu hit his 18th homer for the Tribe. Strike to Hunter Pence. That's strikeout number 4 for Lear.
Lear painting the outside corner with his 86-mile-an-hour fastball, a little two-seamer, and it runs back to the corner. Hunter thought it was away, and the fact that Corky Miller was sitting out there, maybe able to steal the call. I see not a strike. I don't think so.
Matsui takes a look at ball 1. He grounded back to the pitcher in the second inning. This ground ball heads for Phillips. On Votto, 2 outs. Reds have really been pitching well during this streak of theirs. They've won 9 of the last 11. Pitching has been right there at the forefront for them. Their last 7 games, their starters have a 2.11 ERA. And the last 11 games, their relievers have a 1.27. And Dick Bull has to like the fielding support too. 4 errors in the last 17 games for the Reds, so everything's working well together. Humberto Quintero, the batter, outside the right field line and out of play. In that Phillies game, Phillies leading 4-1 at Milwaukee. It's Kyle Kendrick on the mound against Braden Looper.
Prince Fielder is the last man standing.
Is he?
The only major leaguer who played in every game this year. It'll be the first time in history, and anybody's kept track of this stuff, that there haven't been at least 2 players to play in every game.
Yeah. And I don't think he DH'd at all in interleague play either. 2 balls and a strike. He's had a big year. White Sox lead Detroit 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 5th at U.S. Cellular. Alex Rios hit his 17th. Carlos Cuenta number 18 for Chicago. Popped up. Joey Votto comes in near the mound to make it a 1-2-3-4 for Justin Lear. Reds lead at 5-2.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. 5-2 Reds as we move to the 5th, and it's time for our progressive fan of the game. Now, you recall back in the 2nd, Lance Nix hit a home run up here into the upper deck and right, but that ball was thrown back onto the field, and I wanted to catch up to whoever was a loyal fan and did that. Who caught the ball?
I caught the ball.
Your name?
Heath.
Heath? Now, you instantly made the decision to throw it back, or was there some hesitation on your part?
Well, I gave it to her. I mean,
passing the buck, okay?
Yeah, I passing the buck.
Okay. So it was her decision to throw it back. Brianna, is that your name?
Yes.
How old are you?
7.5.
7.5. The half is very important. So you decided to throw it back out
Yes.
because it was a Reds home run, not an Astros home run.
Yes.
And you were very careful to not hit Hunter Pence with the ball, correct?
Correct.
That's correct. She's got a future in television. Well, you know what? We don't want our fans to go home empty-handed, so you don't get a ball, Brianna, but you do get a progressive bag of souvenirs, T-shirts, and things like that, okay?
Okay.
All right, enjoy the rest of the game, sweetie.
Okay.
Brownie, back to you.
Good group, Bart. I know all about the little nuances of baseball. Joey Votto slicing a drive to left field, gets one in the corner. He's headed for second base. And he has a double. His second of the night, 35th double of the year for Votto.
Yeah, he's a doubles machine. Double walk, double now. 3 trips to the plate for Joey Votto. Playing in Cincinnati, kind of flies beneath the radar, but one of the best hitters in all of baseball. Hard to pitch, hard to defend. Hits the ball all over the place.
Votto's on with that leadoff hit for Brandon Phillips. That's hit number 7 for the Reds. Paulino gets a foul ball, strike one. Paulino really up against it here, trailing 5-2. Phillips singled and scored in the third inning. He's facing the cleanup man here, down by 3, and due to lead off the bottom of the inning. The Astros are getting a pitcher ready in the bullpen. Doug Brocail is working. Time call by Quintero. Didn't see if he looked over at the bench, but this might be a little stalling tactic to give Brocail some time to get loose. There's Doug. And Jeff Fulcino out there, but it's only Brocail is throwing. 78 pitches have been thrown by Paulino so far. That youngster doesn't much care about that. He's got the glove in the wrong hand.
He's trying to figure it out. Am I righty or am I lefty?
That's more important. He's got it.
He's ready for some action. We got to find this kid a game.
Cute little guy. No balls and a strike to Phillips with Bruce on deck. And he fishes. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Phillips, his game a little different from Votto. We talked about Votto being such a disciplined hitter. Phillips a very dangerous hitter, but much more of a free swinger. Get him to chase your pitch more than a guy like Joey Votto. Still a good, solid offensive player. Phillips, power and speed.
That's rolled foul. Phillips with the 95 runs batted in. That's a second best figure by a Red second baseman, tied with Brett Boone's 95 and 98. Only Joe Morgan has driven in more among Reds second basemen. He had 110 in 1976. In the dirt, good smother by Quintero. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Phillips a good low fastball hitter. You can beat him in if you can get it in on his hands, especially after you've shown him as many breaking balls as they've thrown him. He wants to go in there. Didn't get it in. That's the challenge. That's part of the pitcher-catcher relationship. As a catcher, you may want to call a certain pitch, but if the pitcher's not capable of executing it, you might have to go to plan B.
Phillips has quite a bat waggle. We were noticing that in Cincinnati. He really works that stick back and forth. 2-2. Dodgers lead 3-1 after 5 at Pittsburgh.
See all this motion from the bat, and then as the pitcher gets ready to deliver, he'll steady everything, waggle, 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 and then right now, boom, sets the hands.
Michael Bourne into right center field, makes a running catch. Here's the tag by Votto. He'll go to third. Phillips drove the ball deep enough to cause the center fielder to back up on out number 1.
Good AB there by Phillips to advance Votto. Astros will pull the infield in now.
For Jay Bruce. Bruce grounded out and walked and scored. He fouls it back, strike 1. Brandon Phillips had a good swing. He had a nice at bat. Well, Paulino now 85 pitches into this game, trying to get Bruce with Francisco on deck. Bruce looks it over, and it's a 1-1 count. Andy LaRoche has hit his 10th home run tonight for Pittsburgh, but the Dodgers lead. Grounder goes fair up into the right field corner. Fans reaching over, can't touch it. It's 6-2 Reds on an RBI double by Bruce. That was a hot shot past Berkman. Had no chance at it. Burke with his 14th double gets RBI number 50.
I'm going to look at two talented left-handed hitters here, Votto and Bruce, with different styles. Votto handles the ball up. He likes the ball away. Bruce, the more prototypical lefty slugger, good low ball hitter, likes to use his leverage. This time he drops the head of the bat on a ball, maybe a little backdoor slider. That slider has been a problem pitch for Paulino tonight. He's thrown a couple good ones, but hit hard at other times with it, just not consistent. And that's been the tale for Felipe at the big league level this year, and that's why, despite the really good arm, you can't go into spring training next year having a real good vibe about Paulino in your rotation.
Broken bad roller. Here's the backhand play. Tejada throwing across his body to get Francisco. Excellent play. 2 outs. Bruce holding at second.
I think he was a backhanded play in the hole, and good strong throw. It's his best asset defensively is that arm. Still a very good throwing arm.
Intentional walk here to Nix. We'll bring up Miller with runners at first and second at 2 outs. Nix has a 2-run homer and a sac fly. No Paulino with Brocail warming up for Dave Clark, due to lead off the bottom of this inning. The Reds have already added 1 run to their lead, 6-2. Well, now he really feels that he must get Miller and get out of this with a 4-run deficit so the Astros can pinch hit for him. Pitcher spot due up next. Randy Wolf is pitching that Dodger game, leading the Pirates 3-1. And according to some recent stories, he could be viewed as their #1 starter going into the playoffs right now. They've had some difficulties in the rotation.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, the Dodgers as a club have pitched pretty well this year, and not to diss Randy Wolf, he's been on a real nice roll, and that's why they're probably thinking of him as the staff ace right now. But when you think about the #1 pitchers that are going to be in the postseason, you don't put Randy near the top of that list.
Ball 1 bouncing well out in front of the plate. Quintero put a lid on it. Now he goes to the plate. He goes to the mound rather to talk with Paulino. That pitch was nowhere close to the strike zone. .93 pitches for Paulino so far. The Mets are leading in Florida 3-2. Fernando Tatis hit his 8th homer. They're in the top of the 5th inning. Minnesota got a 5-run 4th to lead Kansas City 5-2 after 4. Alberto Callaspo hit his 11th home run, and Brian Pena #6 for the Royals. Twins only 2 behind the Tigers, who are trailing. Could be a 1-game margin. It's 1-1. That could be a most interesting finish. Good article about Detroit as a sports town in Sports Illustrated that came out this week.
What they say?
Well, they're talking about how the sports team, Tigers in this case, and the Red Wings under Tom Ilitch have done a lot to lift the spirits of the residents there. Fly ball left center field. Carlos Lee with a long run back toward the bullpen wall, and that ball hits off the wall, kicks back toward the infield, and a couple of runs have come home to score on a double by Miller. That really ruins the inning for Paulino. Now it's just been racked in this game. 3-run scoring here in the 5th inning for an 8-2 lead.
Wins the inning and likely the ball game. The Astros getting thumped again. Boy, there's a lot of games like this lately.
The #8 hitter Miller unloads this 2-run double.
There's a free pass to Nix. Corky leans back and hits one a good long ways.
Well, now a lot of damage has been done, and the pitcher bats. They're fouling it for strike 1, but Mike Ilitch, the owner of the Tigers, has done a lot of things for the fans in that area, reducing prices, giving away a lot of free tickets, a lot of special things for the fans who are, many of them out of work, as you know, in Detroit. Little chop, Paulino over.
Don't wait too long.
Ooh, and he fired one to Berkman. In the fifth, it's a 3-run frame for the Reds. On 3 hits, they leave a man. Their lead grows to 8-2.
Back to Minute Maid Park. Reds lead it 8-2 now. You can celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Astros in 2010 and guarantee your seat to every game with a season ticket package. You score great benefits, including a price discount from individual tickets, postseason options, and a lot more. New in 2010, when you buy 2 season tickets, you get 2 free in the view deck and select sections in the terrace deck as well. Make your deposit on your 2010 season tickets now and don't miss any of the action next season. For information, of course, you can go to Astros.com or call 1-800-ASTROS-2. Brownie?
Thank you, Bart. That is a great deal. It's 8-2. The Reds lead it. Edwin Masonette is the pinch hitter for Felipe Paulino. Masonette is hitting .297. He lines one to right field, jumping right on that first offering for a pinch single. Edwin hasn't had an at-bat in about a week.
I was going to say, he's still on the team.
He's now 3 for 8 pinch hitting now. Not had much time. Tonight's Texas Ford Dealers League leaders will show you some notable players who have played in the majors from the University of Houston. Wimpy, Tom Pachard, #1 by far in games played. That's Bill Henry, Chris Snyder, who has hurt a good bit of this year. Michael Bourne, Drabek, McDonald, Woody Williams, 22 coups. Now Michael Bourne, who's 1 for 2 in this game, looks at that pitch, and it's ball 1. And Masonette gives the Astros a start. They're going to need some kind of an offensive night to win this game. First mission to get something going on. Justin Lear is in his 5th inning of work and bidding for win number 5 of the year. That young man has given up the glove and he's gone to the spoon.
Solid move. Some guys go to the pen. He's going right to the ice cream.
So many of us have done that over the years. 2 balls and a strike to Michael Bourne. He's doing some excellent work with that tool.
That's a good day right there. Put to the ball game, getting some new friends, killing some ice cream. So what if the home team's losing? So what?
The ice
it's a
cream
ball
is
game.
good. Yeah. What do you think he would have a better chance of remembering? The ice cream being good or what the home team did?
Yeah, I think he's going to remember a whole lot.
Bourne takes a walk. 2 men on, nobody out for Miguel Tejada. That's the second walk for Lear.
I mentioned the Astros a post All-Star break record. It is not the worst. It's not good. 27 and 38 since the break. Jays, same record. Royals, Nationals, Mets, Orioles, the Pirates all worse than the Astros. But those are the only clubs in all of Major League Baseball with the worst second halves. The Pirates 19 and 45 since the break.
Boy. Well, they did host the Summit, though, in Pittsburgh. Miguel Tejada's 2 for 2. He homered in the 3rd inning. And there is strike 1. Felipe Paulino, rough night. 5 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. One of the walks was intentional.
Yeah, I was commenting about Paulino as you contemplate next year. I'll talk about that later.
Liner to right by Tejada. And that'll get Mason at home. An 8-3 ball game, sending Bourne to third base. Tejada gets his 3rd straight hit of this game. 2 singles and a homer for Miggy. That'll stir it up in the Reds bullpen pretty soon. Dick Pohl's already on his way to the hill.
Justin Lair has to finish this inning to qualify for the win. But you better get it turned around in a hurry, or he's not going to get that opportunity. Can't let this lead slip away. 8-3 with a couple of men on base, nobody out, in the middle of the order due up. So a very treacherous part of the ball game for Lear. Good off-field stroke by Tejada.
Yeah, he waited nicely on that breaking pitch.
I tell you, you throw Tejada a breaking ball over the plate, you're asking for trouble. Anyway, back to the Paulino point I was making. I just don't think you can go into next season going, Paulino's in our rotation. I mean, he's got a great arm. He's taking to spring training. He's in the mix. The guy's competing for a job, but he just hasn't really shown enough consistency where you feel comfortable saying he's got a spot.
True. Lance Berkman bounced into a play at the plate, and then he walked. Now this one to third base. There's the throw to second, and Brandon Phillips with the turn double play as Michael Bourne scores. Francisco starts it. Phillips turns it on to Votto, and it's a 5-4-3 double play. Second of the night hit into by the Astros. They have just been killed by hitting into double plays this year. That's number 147.
And that pitch right there may end up being the difference maker for Lear. He may stick around and may qualify for this win now. 5-4-3 double play. And Lance busting it hard down the line made it awfully close. Bang banger. Could have gone either way.
8-4 as Carlos Lee bats. And that's ball 1 to him. He's 0 for 2. He grounded into a double play in the first inning. There are a lot of deceptive numbers about any baseball team. But with the Astros, it would be 270 with runners in scoring position. That's pretty good.
It's really good.
What we've seen in terms of clutch hitting has not been pretty good.
I think it's mostly about slugging and walks. Don't hit enough home runs, don't draw enough walks, don't have enough opportunities.
2 balls, 1 strike. The Astros are next to last in drawing walks. They are 13th in on base average, 11th in slugging, 13th in homers. Rolled up the middle. Phillips, it hits the bag, but he still plays it and gets lead. As the barrel of the bat winds up around shortstop, and the Astros get 2 runs, 2 hits. Through 5, it's 8-4 Reds.
Probably my cell phone jammed in there with.
Dodge Grab Live feature. Lance Berkman, what's in your pockets?
Probably my cell phone jammed in there with. Got an earpiece that I use, and I always have to fish it out of there. It rings, and it takes me about 20 minutes to get it out of my pocket. Just standard car keys. Got to carry a billfold. That's it.
That's it for Lance. He's at first base. Doug Brocale is on the mound in an 8-4 ball game. We gave you the numbers on Paulino. Brocale's had a nice run of scoreless baseball coming into this one tonight, and for the season, a 3.07 ERA.
Been a long injury-riddled year for Broke, but when healthy, he has pitched well. But Broke's been broke a lot of the year.
Yeah. Not broke in the sense of a lot of folks, but
physically.
Yeah. There's strike one to Stubbs. Stubbs is 0 for 2 with a walk. Broke has not given up a run for 9 appearances, covering 8 innings. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Doug. Last outing for him Tuesday night. Here against the Cardinals. 1 hitless inning in that one for Doug. Cardinals, by the way, got 3 in the first at Colorado. They lead 3-0 in the top of the second. Adam Wainwright, the beneficiary, against Ubaldo Jimenez. It's 1-2 for Stubbs.
What are we guessing? Pujols home run there in the first?
Well, let's see. We can check on that.
I got it.
Holiday singled in a run.
Okay.
Ankiel with a grounder that scored a run, and Molina singled in a run. No Pujols factor, although he did score a run. Ground ball to third. Blum plays it to Berkman. 1 out for Brocale. Paul Janisch will be batting. He's 0 for 3.
Well, there's some veterancy going on in that Astros infield right now. Blum, Tejada, Matsui, Berkman, and then Brocale on the mound.
Senior citizens.
Yeah, a lot of service time.
Curveball. Janisch looks at it, and it's ball 1. The Astros have been swept in their last 2 series against the Reds, both of those in Cincinnati. Dropped 8 in a row to them. It's 1-1. Dave Clark's club falling behind with a 2-run Reds first, and then 3 more in the third, now trailing 8-4. Dave was the Texas League Manager of the Year in 06 with Corpus Christi. Another broken bat. Tejada, 2 outs. And he also won a Manager of the Year title in the Pirate system in the Carolina League at Lynchburg in 03. And led the Hickory Crawdads to the South Atlantic League title in 04. Very successful minor league manager. And he said he was usually the 25th player on a major league club. So he kind of has an idea of how the 25th player wants to be treated by the manager. Joey Votto has a pair of doubles and a walk. 2 runs scored tonight. And it's ball 1. Arizona got 3 in the first and leads San Diego 3-0 after 1.5. It's 1-1 with Bourne still shading to left center on Votto. Otto hit his first double to left center, and then his second one went to left. So there's the way that Lee and Bourne are shaping up against him. A lot of room in right center.
As Ed Wade and the Astros front office contemplates the full-time manager, I don't think you put a whole lot of stock into minor league manager of the year awards and things of that nature. Certainly you like a guy who's had a little success, but I think most of it is anecdotal. You talk to people who've worked with the guy, what is his approach, and by all accounts, when you hear from the players that have been around Dave Clark and the other coaches, a very stand-up guy.
Bounced, and Berkman is there, tossing to Brocale for a 1-2-3-6. By the way, the infield, Phil Boudreau writes, has a total of 54 years of Major League service time for the Astros, 8-4 Reds. It is the Coors Light sixth inning. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Let's take a look at some scenes of this game tonight. There's a freeze of a Hunter Pence home run, number 25 of the year, and Miggy Tejada also blasting, number 13 to left field. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Astros now have hit 20 homers in the last 15 games. No National League team has more over that span, but they're on a run of solo homers as well. 14 of the last 15 homers have been solo. Micah Owings comes in with a 7-12 record and a 5.21 ERA.
Micah in the rotation earlier, now working out of the pen. Almost as many walks as strikeouts. 67 strikeouts, 60 walks. Not a good ratio. 115 and 2/3 innings, 18 long ones. He's a good hitter. And the Reds seem to be pretty set in their rotation for the first 4 next year, unless they make a trade with Harang, Arroyo, Cueto, and Homer Bailey, who has stepped to the fore recently.
Yeah, he has.
Micah Owings could come back as maybe a swing man or a long man / pinch hitter.
Foul by Blum, it's 1-2. Justin Lear in 5 innings allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2, fanned 4, and he's in line for win number 5 of the year. That hurts.
Oh, right where he got his flu shot.
Yeah, that's not a good place. Luke to second, and Phillips has it.
It's a tough night for Jeff. Good night in the field, but at the plate, 2 punch outs. And then one off the thumbs to the second sacker.
Well, Owings with that excellent bat might be a Brooks Kieschnick type player for this Reds club next year. Got the game-winning RBI in the 12th inning at Atlanta September 6th. He was hit in the helmet by a pitch with the bases loaded. His last 4 starts, though, he was 0-4 with an ERA of 10.90. Hunter Pence gets underneath it, fly ball. Stubbs coming over to right center. 2 outs. And Matsui will be next. He's 0 for 2.
I was thinking about Mike Owings. He's not a quote-unquote good hitting pitcher. I mean, he's just a good hitter who happens to pitch.
Yeah. He took 4 stitches in his left ear after he was beamed by that pitch against the Braves. Did not fly with the team to Denver because he was not allowed to fly for a couple of days. Tough way to win a game. Strike to Matsui. But then back on the 4th of July against the Cardinals, he was the winning pitcher and hit a homer. Here's a real trivia question for you in that regard.
All right.
The last pitcher who won the game and homered on Independence Day before Micah Owings. You talk about trivia. Way back in 1958, the Yankees' Bob Turley did it.
Oh, sure.
You remember
Turley,
that?
yeah, Turley.
Everybody recalls that.
Famous Bob Turley 4th of July home run. Forget it. It's right up there in baseball annals with the homer and the Gloman and Merkel's boner.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Micah Owings from Gainesville, Georgia. Went to Georgia Tech, then moved on to Tulane. Third-round pick of Arizona in 2005. Then he was traded to the Reds for Adam Dunn in 2008. And he began this year as the 5th starter in the Reds rotation. Got his first major league complete game against the Astros in 2007. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Quintero's on deck. Owings this year had a pinch 2-run double in the 7th inning off Jeff Geary, and that wound up being the game-winning hit for the Reds. And he could be a Kieschnick type player. Kieschnick had it down too as to which one to warm up for, pitching or pinch hitting. It's got to be a little bit of a quandary. Hook to left field. Nick's back for the 3rd out. After 6, it's 8-4 Reds. Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your familiar jersey. And Tim Burdack is a familiar sight on the mound, just piling up appearances this season, most in his career. Number 72 is coming up, JD.
Now, Bocale came in, pitched a perfect 1-2-3 inning. Now Burdack on for the 72nd time. He's got to win a couple of losses, an ERA of 3.23. He's been tough to hit, a 180 batting average. Surrendered 9 home runs, though. That's a big number.
Brandon Phillips leads it off. He's 1 for 3. Burdack pitched Tuesday night against the Cardinals. Gave up a Colby Rasmus homer. That's a liner to left. Carlos Lee back. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bud Brocale had a 1-2-3 sixth with 3 ground ball outs. And let's go to Greg Lucas now.
Well, here's an update on our poll on Facebook that had to do with which pitcher do you think is the greatest Astro pitcher of all time. I allowed write-ins in on the Facebook page. It's a good thing because J.R. Richard has 5, and that would get him about 15% of the vote. Nolan Ryan is way ahead right now with Mike Scott and Roy Oswalt getting some votes. The most interesting feature is the all-time winningest Astro pitcher so far doesn't have a vote. Don Wilson has a vote. Jim DeShays has a vote.
Smart people.
But Necro, no votes.
Really?
Interesting.
Very. Are you getting any JD for manager votes down there? We're getting a lot of
yeah,
flyers.
we've had a few of those too.
Okay.
I throw those out with the other ones.
All right.
2 balls and a
See
strike.
if I do an interview with you when I'm manager. So, excuse me, sir. To go over to that other dugout and talk to that manager.
JD boycotting the media.
Well, that's a good question. The Astros had so many good pitchers over the years, and they certainly have to include JR in that conversation.
Yeah.
And I guess if people contemplate that vote, is it who's the best guy while in an Astro uniform, or the best pitcher ever to wear an Astro uniform, or some combination of both? And if that's the case, I'd probably lean towards Nolan. In an Astro uniform, Dirk.
Grounded foul.
I don't know. That's a tough call.
Very tough.
Really? Scotty's reign was probably a little too short. His period of dominance. Tell you who may be the most underrated starting pitcher in the history of this franchise is Shane Reynolds.
Yeah.
He had a good long run here.
He did. 3-2 for Burdack. Bruce, a 400 hitter at Minute Maid Park. He takes a walk. His second of the night. Walk number 5 for Astros pitching. And Juan Francisco is 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Burdack worked a scoreless inning last night.
Not Juan was a switch hitter.
Nope, he's strictly left.
I wonder why in their notes and the stats they have him down as a switch hitter.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. He's showing no at-bats as a right-handed hitter, but they've got him in the stat sheet as a switch hitter.
Okay.
I guess just in case he changes his mind.
Well, his first single came into right field, and then the second one, a 2-run hit, went to right field. Fouls that one back, strike 1. And he gets this audition for next year with Scott Rowland being down. 2 starts in a row for Francisco at third base, but the Reds have also been hitting him fly balls in left field. Tigers got 4 in the 7th. They're in front of the White Sox now, 7-5 in the 7th.
Well, that could be a huge comeback win for them with the Twins comfortably out in front of Kansas City, 7-2 now.
Freddie Garcia gave it up for the White Sox, allowing 7 earned runs in 6 1/3. Miguel Cabrera at his 32nd home run. Now Berkman in a rundown, throws to Tejada, and Bruce is tagged out. 2 outs. 1-3 to 6 play on Bruce.
Rodak never looks. Looking at home all the way, and then a quick step and throw to first base. Whoop.
Ruda caught stealing because he was leaning towards second when the ball was thrown. Francisco fouls it. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. It was interesting to talk to the Astros minor league MVPs on the field around the batting cage tonight. Just such a thrilling time for them. Kobe Clemens wound up leading the minor leagues in runs batted in. He had a terrific year at Lancaster. And he talked about the ballpark there being very favorable for hitters. And he also talked about his teammates, a tremendous outfield there at Lancaster. Tommy Manzella, the MVP this year, slick fielding shortstop at Round Rock. And it was Drew Locke at AA Corpus Christi. Drew said he's looking for a winter ball job in the Dominican. At strike 3, he might wind up with a team with the general manager of Moises Alou. It's 8-4, Cincinnati leading, and pinch hitter Darren Erstad leads it off in the home 7th inning. Mike Owings drills the umpire in the leg, and he didn't even flinch. Delphine Colon. Did that catch him in the shin guard? He's looking down. He didn't even move.
Corky whiffed, and Delphine took it. Yeah, shin guard, I think. And step of the foot. Got a little guard on top of his shoe as well.
Still have to feel it, even if it was armor plated, wouldn't you? 1 ball, 1 strike. Darren with Jason Michaels on deck to pinch hit next for the pitcher. Darren is hitting for Quintero, who was 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch. Darren, a .248 career pinch hitter. This season, 11 for 56 as a pinch hitter. Fouls it back. And it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count to Darren. 39,476 the paid attendance. Very good Saturday night crowd. Astros are averaging just under 31,000 per game. Tomorrow the final home game of the season. Right now they've drawn 2.4 million. Fly ball up the right field line. Coming over for it, Jay Bruce with the running play and foul ground. Now,
well, as 2009 winds down, we contemplate 2010. How about spring training? That's always fun. Come on over and check out the Astros in Kissimmee. Phone number 1-800-892-7687, or you can go to astros.com/spring travel. Get out of the frigid
Oh, yeah.
Frigid February, March weather here in Houston and over to sunny Florida.
Jason Michaels takes ball one up. Pinch hitting for Burdack. Burdack in one inning allowed no hits, no runs. He had one walk, one strikeout. Jason rolls it foul, and it's a 1-1 count. 238 for Jason for 126 at bats. Leads the club in pinch hits with 12 in 52 at bats. Michael Owings is working his second inning in relief of Justin Lear. Reds had a couple of 3-run frames in the third and fifth.
And veteran role players, very important on a winning team for what they do on the field. For a losing team or a younger team, sometimes they're almost as important for what they do in the clubhouse as what they do on the field. Not sure who will be back with this Astro club next year, but they do have a good core of veteran, role players who have the right approach, play the game the right way, get ready to play it the right way. Guys like Michaels and Erstad and Blum.
3-2 with Jared Burton warming up in the bullpen for the Reds. Michaels has walked 7 times in his last 12 pinch hitting plate appearances. Another walk. He becomes a 1-out base runner for Michael Bourne, who's 1 for 2 with a walk himself. Michael led off the Astros first with a single. He stole second base. In the third, he grounded out. In the fifth, he walked and scored. That's the 93rd run he has scored this year. Dusty Baker's on his way to the mound. Michael closing in on 100 runs scored. Dusty will make a change here with Owings coming out of this game after an inning and a third in the score. Cincinnati 8, Houston 4. Back in a moment. Hunter Pence on a Justin Lear pitch drives it deep for home run number 25 of the year near the Conoco pump. Impressive swing by Hunter Pence. It is 8-4. The Reds have piled up 9 hits, and now they bring in their third pitcher, Daniel Ray Herrera, screwballing lefty. Astros have seen him 4 times this year. Got a win against them in Cincinnati 11 days ago. And he comes in to face Michael Bourne.
Herrera, awfully tough on lefties. Righties are wearing him out, however. The numbers overall, 4-4 with an ERA of 3. Struck out 42, walked 22 in 60 innings. Lefties hitting 187 against him, 20 hits and 107 at-bats. Only 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. That's a .271 slugging percentage for left-handed hitters against Herrera. But righties hitting better than .360 against him. So this could be a 1 batter and out situation here for Herrera.
Yeah. Tejada's on deck. Baseman Francisco in tight on Bourne. He looks at a strike, and it's 1-1 to Michael. Michael's hung in well against lefties this season. Last outing for Herrera brought him 1/3 of an inning Tuesday at Pittsburgh. He gave up 2 hits and a run. It's 2-1. Danny, 24 years old, 45th round draft choice by the Rangers, and then traded to Cincinnati in the Edinson Volquez deal for Josh Hamilton in December.
Guys who stand 5'5" and weigh about $150 typically don't go real high in the draft. It's pretty remarkable that he's been able to make it to the big leagues.
Yeah. He's from Odessa, Texas, went to Permian High School and then on to the University of New Mexico. Lives in Austin. Not far from home. Pitched 7 times for the Reds last year. He's at a full count on Michael Bourne. Phillies lead the Brewers 5-3 in the bottom of the 6th at Milwaukee. Jamie Moyer is in the game in relief of Kyle Kendrick. And that's a strike. The throw on Jason Michaels. And it was strike 3 and the double play on the throw out at second base to end the Astros 7th inning. So after 7, it's 8-4 Reds. Bud Light brings you what's on tap with the Astros. It's Johnny Cueto, a 10-game winner with 10 losses, and Wandy Rodriguez, his mount opponent, 13-11. They go tomorrow. Coverage begins at 12:30 on Fox Sports Houston with Astros Live. The ball game starts at 1:05. 2 changes for Houston. Chris Coast in the game at catcher, batting 8th. Sammy Hervacio's the pitcher, batting 9th. Tim Burdack had a hitless, scoreless 7th inning, and Hervacio's had a lot of work in his rookie year.
So far, tonight the bullpen has been solid. Sammy Hervacio has been solid since coming to the big leagues. 22 appearances, 1-1, 220, really setting himself up well for next season. Contemplate that bullpen for 2010. You got to believe Sammy's going to be in it.
He's earned a spot. Lance Nix has a homer, a sac fly, and a walk. Nix looks at strike 1. Hervacio, pitcher number 4 for Dave Clark tonight. Sammy worked a scoreless inning Monday night against the Cardinals, gave up a couple of hits. It is an excellent strikeout ratio. 0-2. Here's the way he throws it.
The unorthodox sidearm, slinging it up there.
You might think that he would be vulnerable to left-handed hitters. So far, only 13 at-bats for lefty hitters. They have 3 hits for a .231 average against Sammy with 1 homer.
There's a 2-seam sinker down and away, and he also has a pretty good changeup. He threw for strike 2 to Nix.
There's strike 3 to Nix.
I think the way he flies open and kind of jumps at you as a left-handed hitter, you see him early. So it would be very hard to stay back, especially when he's coming out of the pen. You're only going to get one look at him as a hitter. He drifts towards the first baseline, and as a hitter, I think it would be awfully hard to stay back.
Corky Miller's had a good night. 2 hits, 2 runs batted in for Miller. Kevin Barker on deck. They strike 1. And just looking at that replay we had on Hervasio, the way you described where he steps, it's not the classic instructional video of stepping toward the target, is it?
No, he actually really opens up and steps towards the first baseline.
He kind of flies in the face of convention then as far as trying to maintain control with that delivery, doesn't he?
Well, I guess it's the arm angle that is the equalizer for him. So he flies open, but the lower arm angle allows him to keep the ball in the zone.
His numbers have been just outstanding, much better than they were at Round Rock. And he gets a strikeout on Miller. Sammy's been worked very hard since he came to the big leagues in mid-August, but he's got some life going tonight.
Got some theatrics out there as well. Saw him leaving the ballpark. He was up on the ramp last night, had his teddy bear. Rookies being forced to carry teddy bears for the next 10 days or so, well, till the end of the season.
Kevin Barker pinch hitting, smacks a line drive to right center. That'll go to the bullpen wall. Barker heads for second. Hunter Pence picks it up. Pinch double for Barker. Hit number 10 for the Reds. They banged out 17 last night.
Let's see, trying to go down and away and left it middle in. Not as easy as that. Not all mistakes get hit hard.
Barker's aboard. Stubbs the batter. Stubbs 0 for 3 with a walk. Micah Owings went 1 1/3 innings. He allowed no hits, no runs. Had a walk, no strikeouts. Herrera 2/3 of an inning and a strikeout. Stubbs with a foul ball. There's strike 1. Phillies and Brewers are tied 5-5. They're in the top of the 7th inning now. Ryan Howard hit his 43rd home run off Braden Looper.
Rockies put a Singleton on the board in the bottom of the 3rd. And they're in the bottom of the 4th now in Denver. 3-1 Cardinals lead the Rocks. Atlanta already won today. And they have 5 games remaining with the Washington Nationals, the Braves do. 4 of them in Atlanta to end the season. Wild card race is not over yet.
No. 2 balls, 1 strike. Florida's pounding the Mets 9-3 after 6 at Florida. After a 7-run 5th, Cameron Maben hit his 3rd homer. Tampa Bay leads at Texas 3-0, middle of the 4th. Greg Zaun hit his 8th. Foul ball makes it 2-2. Detroit now 8, White Sox 5, top of the 8th. That's Chicago.
You know, people, you always see people eating when they drive, or you see people texting, and you go, what is that person thinking?
Oh, yeah.
I saw one today. This girl was flossing her teeth while driving down the road.
That sounds like a rather challenging pursuit. Was it a one-handed floss or?
No, it's two-handed floss, Brownie.
Long
driving
length,
with the knees.
Long length of floss. So driving with the knees.
Yeah.
It's highly illegal. Swing and a miss. Hervasio strikes out the side in the 8th. No runs a hit. A runner stranded, and it's 8-4 Reds. Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. It is 8-4 here out at the 5-7 Grill. Fans looking on from beyond the center field area, and they have seen Nick Massett come out of the Reds bullpen. A little diversion there as Massett has really become a nice 8th inning setup man for the Reds. He's 5-1 with a 2.52 ERA.
So the Reds piecing it together here after 5 innings from their starter Justin Lair. They go Owings, Herrera, now Massett. He gives you a little different look from the little lefty, big power right-hander.
Miguel Tejada's 3 for 3. That's a quality pitch. Strike one from Massett. On the outside edge at 96. Nick, 27 years old, from St. Petersburg, Florida. It's a 1-1 count. Massett leads the club in appearances. This is number 70 for him. Last 7 appearances have produced no runs allowed by Nick over 6 innings. That's by Votto and up the right field line. Tejada's 4 for 4 in this game. 186 hits now from Miggy. Putting on a closing rush.
Maybe he will get to 200.
Maybe so. Jeff Fulcino warming up for Houston.
Again, this is a fastball, out, up, away. That's just dangling a steak in front of the lion. Yeah, I'll take that.
He has 4 of the Astros' 7 hits in this game. Lance Berkman 0 for 2 with a walk. He could put a thrill into some people if he juices a ball here. Trailing by 4 with Carlos Lee on deck, and that one fouled for strike 1. Massett came into all 3 games against the Astros in Cincinnati 10 days ago and got holds. Came in with a 2-1 in the 8th inning and held the lead with a 3-1 Cincinnati win that night. A 5-4 lead in the 8th inning, held on to that one. They won by that score. And then a 6-5 lead in the 8th inning. They won by that score. There's a shot into left field. Workman hammering it to the right of the shortstop, Giannis, to make it back-to-back hits for the Astros for the first time since the first inning. Two men on for Carlos Lee.
A pretty swing here by Lance. Giannis cheating towards the bag a little bit. Creating a little bit of a hole there between third and short.
Big at bat in this game for El Caballo. Carlos Lee is 0 for 3. Astros down by 4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they've started in a promising fashion. Lee is 2 for 7 against Massett. Massett was drafted by Texas, traded to the White Sox, and he came in the Ken Griffey Jr. deal to the Reds. Strike one.
Tough night for Carlos so far. Grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the first, and the Astros looked like they were poised to jump on Justin Lair. Came up empty in that inning and flew out to right. And then last time up, grounded out and absolutely got jammed, shattered his bat, almost fell down in the batter's box.
Tejada's 5th 4-hit game of the season. A 13-game hitting streak for Miggy, including 4 for 4 tonight. And it's 0-2. Lee up against it here against the hard-throwing right-hander. Jeff Blum's on deck.
Be looking to flip something into shallow right center right here. Turn a little slider away. Came up empty.
Strikeout for Massett. Number 6 for Reds pitching.
Tough night for El Caballo. And it's been pretty tough so far for Jeff Blum. 2 strikeouts and a weak pop up to second base. That's a money pitch there, boy. That's tough. Sharp breaking slider.
Not very many guys who have pitched Carlos Lee like that this year, gotten him out in 3 pitches. Blummer with 2 strikeouts and a pop to second. Takes a close one. That's ball 1 with Hunter Pence on deck. The Reds have an excellent 1-2 punch for the 8th and 9th innings in Massett and Francisco Cordero. Cordero's second in the league in saves with 39. Grounded to first. Votto goes to second for the force play. Giannis back to the pitcher, covering, safe at first. He argued, but apparently his foot wasn't on the base. And Rob Drake making that indication that Massett did not have his foot on the bag. 2 outs, runners at first and third.
So sure Giannis had the bag at second base either. We'll see the potential inning-ending double play. Giannis cheating a little bit, coming across the bag to get the throw. Yeah. Massett never found the base. Three 6-part fine, and then 1 came up empty. Got to find the base first and then turn and look for the ball.
And he missed it when he tapped it again. So that gives the Astros an opportunity to get Hunter Pence up with 2 men on.
So how mad would Massett be if Hunter torches this one out of here now? Could have had an inning over and end up sucking up 3 earnings.
Massett has pitched 6 times against the Astros this year with an ERA of 0, 2 wins, 3 holds. Just outstanding work. Fouled away, and it's 0-2.
That slider away, that pitch he threw to strike out Carlos. Well, this one was a little bit more of a spinner, didn't have the good downward tilt. I would not be surprised to see him go back out with that same slider he got Carlos with. Maybe take a shot inside first, then go back away, or perhaps just stay away with the slider, see if they can get Hunter to chase. Valverde warming up in the Astros pen.
Bounce to first. Votto has it. And in the 8th inning, it's no runs, 2 hits, 2 left for the Astros, 8-4 for the Reds.
Well, the Reds lead the Astros 8-4. We're in the top half of the 9th inning. Visit the official online shop of the Astros at Astros.com. It looks a lot like that, only it's on your computer. The largest online selection of authentic team gear, including caps, T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, keychains, coffee mugs, all kinds of goodies. Straight from the source, the Astros.com shop.
Jeff Fulcino comes in with a score 8-4 Reds. He's 6-4 with a 3.26 ERA.
Like the Reds bullpen, the Astros bullpen has been rock solid as well. Brocail, Burdack, Hervasio. Now Big Jeff out there. He's worked awfully hard this year. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He'll go back home to Connecticut to regroup for the off season. Settle in for a long, cold winter. Probably catch some Connecticut Husky basketball.
Ooh. 2 balls, no strikes to Giannis. Giannis is 0 for 4. Huskies going to be good this year.
Huskies are always good. I don't know how good they're going to be this year.
It's 3-0. Chino pitched in the 3-0 win over St. Louis here Wednesday. Struck out the side, coming in with a 2-0 lead in the 7th inning, working a hitless frame. His ERA is 1.65 over his last 15 outings. He's tied for the 2nd most wins among NL relievers this year. Took something off to get that one in and create a 3-1 count now.
Gets good carry on his 4-seam fastball. It's a lot of backspin. The ball has good life. It gets into the strike zone.
Hit in the air and foul. 3-2 to Paul Giannis, to be followed by Votto and Phillips. The Astros have Matsui, Coast, and the pitcher spot due up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pittsburgh got 3 in the 7th to take a lead over the Dodgers, but now the Dodgers have scored in the 8th to get the lead back 5-4. Slow tapper, barehanded. Blum, terrific play. He winds up face down, eating some grass, but that was a terrific play.
Oh, it sure was. We talked about Blummer having a tough night offensively, but he's made a couple of sparkling plays out there at third base. Watch how he creates a little bit of an angle for himself. He kind of rounds this ball. Boy, that is slick. It's a big leaguer doing big league things in a big league manner.
Very nice. Fulcino loved it. Now Joey Votto is strike one.
You hate to give up those cheap infield hits. I feel like somebody's trying to steal from you. Don't let him get away with it.
Jeff wound up in the prone position. Votto down on a knee.
Votto's down in praying position. Got a little yoga thing going on here. Get a little downward dog working.
Votto has 2 doubles, a walk. He has scored 2 runs.
Namaste.
1-2. Colorado's tied St. Louis 3-3 after 4. Brad Hawpe hit his 21st. Fly ball left field sends Carlos Lee back to the wall. Leaping, and it's off that wall, kicking back towards second base. Another double for Votto, his 3rd of the night and 36th of the year.
Guess we shouldn't be surprised. Triple double for Joey Votto.
He would love playing half his games here the way he hits to the opposite field.
Oh, yeah. If you're a guy like Votto with that off-field stroke, you can get beat by a fastball as a left-handed hitter here and hit a home run. You swing late and ultimately be rewarded for it.
That's 11 hits for the Reds. 6 of them have been doubles. Brandon Phillips is 1 for 4. Strike to Phillips. Well, that makes that Blum play so much bigger now. With Votto following with a double.
I'll tell you this about Brandon Phillips. When you're pitching against him, you know there's a pretty good chance he's going to hack at that first one.
He's only walked 43 times. And he takes the second one. It's 0-2. In just about the same spot as the first one he swung at.
He probably feels vindicated for having tried the first time now. Okay, so it was a strike. What's wrong with going after it?
Right. And he won't go up there. 1-2 to Brandon Phillips. Angels lead Oakland 3-2. They've played one. Juan Rivera had his 24th home run for the Angels. Kurt Suzuki, number 15 for Oakland. Votto takes off for 3rd, and the ball is foul. He had a good jump, too. He's not really a base stealer. He's 4 out of 5, but he saw a golden opportunity, and he took off.
Up 4, looking for one more with 1 out. That's not a bad time to try to get third base if they're not paying attention to you out there, and the Astros clearly were not. It caused Fulcino to give him an extra look this time. Matsui to sneak over and
popped up. Berkman over near the seats, snags it. Votto tagging, and here's a throw to 3rd, and he makes it. 2 outs. Votto running wild.
It's a little bit of a riskier proposition there. 2 outs coming on the catch. Can't afford to make the 3rd out at third base, but he felt comfortable that he'd be able to steal this one on Lance. His back is to the play as he catches it.
There was just a momentary hesitation, but that ball almost popped out of his mitt. That might have been the reason for it. Now Jay Bruce has an RBI double and a pair of walks tonight. Juan Francisco on deck. They'll appeal at second that he left too soon, and he did not. Jerry Meals with the call. Stay tuned after the game for Astros Live. It's presented by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Kevin Eschenfelder and Jimmy Wynn will have all the analysis and highlights of this game tonight. Ball 1 to Bruce. Reds have had their hitting shoes on in this series. 10 runs on 17 hits last night. 8 runs on 11 hits tonight. They've stranded 5 tonight. They left 10 last night. Good fastball. 1-1. Minnesota's now blowing out Kansas City 11-4 in the top of the 8th inning. Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee watching it, and that's an opposite field 2-run homer by Jay Bruce. So Votto and Bruce both showing that as left-handed hitters, this is a very favorable ballpark for them. And 2 more runs for the Reds make it 10-4 here in the 9th inning. That's Bruce's 20th home run.
I don't know how many hits in that direction. I'll be having a lot of fun from Beaumont. Probably has a really sizable cheering section here tonight.
10-4 game, and Juan Francisco with strike 1.
And right-handed hitters come into town here, can get into bad habits trying to yank the ball, and they end up pulling off pitches. But lefties, with that short porch in left field, it really suits them well. It's a good, solid approach and the ability to hit it with any authority the other way, and they got a chance to go deep.
0-2. Chino allowing only the 7th home run in 78 innings of pitching this year. And he gets a Francisco strikeout to end it in the top of the 9th. With 2 runs, 2 hits for the Reds, they lead it 10-4. Ten to 4 lead for the Reds. That was the score when the game ended last night. And the Reds once again enjoying a banner evening of it as they try to win for the 6th time in a row. They go with pitcher number 5. He is Jared Burton.
Well, Jared Burton is pitching for the 49th time this year. He's got a win, no losses, and a 4.77 ERA. Big dude, 6'5", 230. South Carolina. Played collegiately at Western Carolina. Fighting Tiger Cats. You're not buying that, are you?
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Sounds good, though.
Quite bogus. Fastball, slider, changeup.
Western Carolina. Kazuo Matsui's 0 for 3. What do you think of that one?
I'm going to look it up right here.
All right. McMassett in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs. He had no walks and he struck out 1. Matsui looks at ball 1. Burton Closed out the 10-4 win last night with a hitless inning. Didn't need very many pitches in the bottom of the ninth. Chris Costa is on deck. Pitcher spot due up third. He's at a 2-ball no strike count here on Matsui. Burton spent some time on the DL with right shoulder fatigue from late July through early August. He was optioned to Louisville June 1st, but never left the team. Was recalled the next day. Foul back, and it's a 2-ball 1-strike count to Matsui.
There's some kind of a cat. I got their website. Oh, they're the Catamounts.
The Catamounts.
Western Carolina Catamounts.
That might be the only Catamount in college sports. Tap foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The Vermont might be the Catamounts.
Okay. St. Louis 3, Colorado 3. They're in the top of the 5th at Coors Field. Matsui strikes out, 1 out. Chris Costa is the batter. Costa started last night. He doubled on the left field line in the 3rd. Had a sac fly in the 7th inning last night, going 1 for 3. Chris has a .227 average. 2 homers. He's driven in 18 and 203 at bats. Jeff Keppinger is on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. And it's ball 1. The Astros 8-14 in the month of September. Going to Philadelphia next, then New York after the finale tomorrow at home. This fly ball as the center fielder Stubbs moving over to his left. Jay Bruce is there. 2 outs. And it'll be Keppinger pinch hitting now for Fulcino. Fulcino in 1 inning allowed 2 hits and 2 runs with no walks, 1 strikeout. Keppinger traded by the Reds in April for Drew Sutton. Has a .258 average, 7 homers, 27 runs batted in for Jeff. As a pinch hitter, he's done well, going 5 for 12 with an RBI. Last night he was 1 for 4 as the starting third baseman. Strike to Keppinger.
Tim Tebow was taken to a hospital today.
Really? Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Was it an injury or the flu? Or
took a shot to the head while being sacked in the 3rd quarter. Their game against Kentucky. No immediate report on his condition.
Grounded to short. Giannis doesn't do that very often, and that is the final out of a 2nd straight Reds 10-4 win over the Astros in this series, and that is 9 straight wins for the Reds over the Astros. Our Texaco star performer of the game, though, went 4 for 4 for Houston, Miguel Tejada.
Yeah, one of the bright spots for the Astros tonight, Miggy